Good evening, everybody. This is my first build on the new channel. It's a Bachmann 45 tonner. Picked this up used, and it was DCC, but you see I'm taking it apart here. The goal here is what's in the upper right there, which is the Bunge, no longer in service, but the Bunge 45 tonner from Hamilton. So for such a little engine, there sure as hell are a lot of screws in this thing. 4 on the bottom, and then still trying to get this thing apart. And as you can see, it's not budging. The coupler boxes, the bottom part of the coupler box and the coupler come out really easily, but it leaves behind the top part of the coupler box, which is holding the frame in. So I've got to jimmy those things out, which are really, really tight in there. And getting them back in is not a treat either. So got those out, just revealing the inside. That's the DCC board there, the motherboard. And what I'm going to do is put in a ESC Locksound 5 micro in there. And yeah, you'll see there, that speaker is too big, not going to fit. So I'll have to come up with something else. Okay, so I do want to change the color from red to blue. So I'm getting rid of all the decals, which I'm not sure are decals on this thing. I think they're actually painted on. So what I just had there was one of my homemade tools. It's just a piece of dowel with 40 grit and 400 grit on one end, on 40 grit on the other side. So I'm just sanding off the I guess the golden eagle wings, and using the knife to pick away the stuff that I couldn't get with the sanding. And so just going over the entire body here, just getting rid of anything that's going to show through in the final paint job. So I got the frame all cleaned up, or the shell all cleaned up, and now I've headed down to the spray booth. This first coat is a mixture of white, blue, and I think what the color is the light green from Tamiya. And as you can see, it's not very thick. And so painting over red, or painting red, quite difficult in my experience. So I'm just trying to get a first base coat on here. I've taken the windows out of the cab as well. It's pretty much stripped down. And just trying to build up the blue on here. And it's kind of looking like purple for now, but eventually it does go blue. So I've thickened up the paint a bit for round 2 here. I'll show you in a sec. Yeah, so that's where I'm going for. The upper left is kind of more of like a turquoisey blue, and this is obviously not anywhere near that. So the way I work is I just kind of mix my own paints, and I work on trying to get the color from the picture. So as you can see here, the thing has got a base coat on, it's all nice and dry, and I just keep adding and adding and adding until I get that blue. So I think I did about 3 or 4 coats to get that. Starting to become a bit more turquoisey now. So I've added a bit of semi-gloss clear, which is the X35, to the mix, and that's actually helping to get the tone that I want, the right turquoisey tone. The flat wasn't quite getting there. So now I just switched over to black, and I'm just going to do all the lower part of the engine here. Just get rid of that red. This is actually pretty easy to cover up, not a big deal here. And you can see I've started wiring this thing. I just tested it out. So just switching over to buff here. This is XF57. This is going to be the entire cab interior. Just get rid of that red. This thing actually looked like a Christmas tree. It was red and green inside the cab. I don't know what they were thinking, but toned it down. Just going to do the interior all buff, all buff, just to give it a nice unified appearance. So I was looking for a way to do the louvered doors on this unit, because the Bachmann shell did not have the representation there. So these are the screen doors on the front and the back of the long hood, short hood, I guess. I don't know. It's the same hood. So I cut those out of 80 wire mesh from China. I guess I got this from AliExpress. Pretty cheap, but cut little rectangles of the mesh. I did think about actually cutting holes in this frame, but it's die cast and it would just be a nightmare. So instead of being inset into the doors like they are in the prototype, I'm just pasting them on with some canopy glue. I like the canopy glue because it doesn't haze and it holds quite well with metal. So just using that, and it's watered down as well. I'm not using full strength. So just finishing putting up 6 on the back and 6 on the front, and once I'm finished that, then I start moving over to painting the interior. So the control stand is going to get painted, the seat's going to get painted. There's not much in these things, but yeah, I'm just trying to add as much detail as I can to make it look as close to the prototype as I can. So switching over to painting the chair now, and these are going to be highly visible because I did take the window out of the cab. So the control stand, I painted that kind of institutional green, and then I got some white in there to paint the dials and some silver just to bring out the accents in the mold. So I'm using my Pabio pens here. These things are from Michaels. I don't usually use the paint pens themselves, but I do like the acrylic paint that's in them. So I just dip my brush with a little bit of water, and I use the brushes. But I really like the ability to just dab them onto my palette and then mix them. They drive extremely quickly too. So again, picking out the few details that are on this model, picking out the windshield wipers and the door handles with some silver. Yeah, the next color up is a little bit of brown, just to basically give the base coat of rust on the hinges for the doors. And I believe I painted the armrest as well on each side of the cab there. Switching over to the little guy here. This is another Atlas figure. The Strangely enough, the Bachmann figure seemed to be like a child. He was too small to be in there, so I used one of the Atlas guys. I have tons of these Atlas guys. They're two per engine, and so I only put one back in, so I got lots of them kicking around. I like to give them the fluoro orange, and then I put the I cut the reflective tape off just so it really looks like a reflective vest. And this guy is gonna be quite visible because he's in a double open window, so I'm putting a little bit of time into him. Oh yeah, Wade Kelly would be proud of me, I guess, for doing the window gaskets. I know he never puts an engine back together unless the window gaskets are done. So yep, went around to all the windows. Started with a Sharpie, but that didn't really work too well. So I switched over to my Pabio pens. Right now, I'm just kind of dabbing on the black, and then I follow it up with a brush and some water just to get into the corners. Can't really reach the corners with one of those paint pens. So yeah, I just went around everywhere, and it does add quite a bit of realism to the model. And you don't want blue on the window sashes anyway. You want black. So just going around doing that as a final tidy up. So to about this point, I probably put about 2 hours of work into this model right now, stripping it and painting it and doing some of the detail painting. Just to let you know how long this video could have been. It's running at about 25 times speed. Well, I've got a few more videos I'm going to put out over the following weeks leading up to Christmas, and hope you guys. Well, I have to put a video on my old channel as well to make the switch over, but yeah, hopefully you guys are still interested in watching these builds. This is just the final bit here, where I'm going to glue the guy into the chair, and you'll see how he looks, how the interior looks of this locomotive. And so, yeah, I'll just wrap this up here. I've got another part 2 that'll be coming soon. Take care.